Stay a while and listen.
So, I was going to do an ASMR thing, and I've done it a bit, and I have done it like 3 or 4 times now because our microphone was giving us issues, so I'm not doing it anymore.
I like that instead of just saving it for another week,
Yes.
You're just like, you know what? I'm done.
I'm done. I'm done.
It was inspired by watching Ryback eat Cheetos for 7 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, did you do the 10-hour version of that?
Yes.
10 hours of Ryback eating...
I think it was only like 8 minutes long, but I guess you could put it on loop and hear him eat Cheetos for
That'd be awesome.
10 hours.
Well, we were going to be the agony of ASMR podcast today, but we will just stick with the AOP.
Yes.
I am Ross.
I am Saul. You know, and we're just going to talk about men in underwear today.
Yes.
Maybe some movies and some games instead of ASMR.
I actually have some gaming stuff to talk about today. We also had a request for... It's funny, everyone who's requested a match for us to watch and talk about, they've all been really good matches.
It's true. It's true.
I'm not saying to break that streak. However, I know, because I have seen so many in my lifetime, there are terrible matches that are worth watching just to experience them.
And also,
the train wreck that they are.
And also, I find it strange on Facebook, the people that are requesting this, I think they're using burner accounts because... When I check the message, there's no picture. It's like the classic generic, which is fine, I guess. I mean, you don't have to use I delete the messages as soon as I read it, so you don't. I'm not keeping it for like records or anything. So if you send us a message, we're not going to track you down.
The amount of people who just don't use Facebook, but they have to.
It's true. It's true.
Like freaking the Mexican Runner started streaming on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't have a Facebook account, but I miss watching the Mexican Runner.
Sure.
I've considered creating a burner account.
Because he's actually done a lot of speed runs.
Yeah, that's like his main thing. Well, other than the NES Mania, where he beat 714 of the games, including the piano game.
Really?
Yeah, there's the Learn to Do piano game. Yeah. So, like, he's a musician, I believe.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Technically, so it probably came a little bit easy to him. Mm-hmm. But he was doing that thing forever, where you got to, like, play it. So, good for him. Yeah. And then there was, like, Michael Andretti. I think it was it Al Unser Jr.? It was one of the Formula One games, I believe, that took forever. And I remember playing that game when I was little, and it was awful. Like, it was a good game, but it was just so hard to, like, go, because you had to, like, go through, like, see, like, it was more in depth than a racing game should have been on a Nintendo. Like, there wasn't the customization really needed. But I will not be watching the Sid match where he breaks his leg though. So don't. I have no need to see that again in my life. I can close my eyes and imagine it pretty vividly.
I think I actually bought that pay-per-view.
I missed that one, but I ended up somehow seeing that more. Instead of Rick rolling me, people would Sid break leg me.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it was nasty.
Yeah, it was. Now, the best part about that, though, when Steiner the next night was talking about the aura of power around his body, decimating Sid, basically. Because Scott Steiner is a genius.
Yeah.
So, all right. You got anything for your week? Other than watching Ryback eat Cheetos?
Let's see. I listened to Talk is Jericho's podcast about the AEW belt.
Yeah, that was really...
That's really good. If you are a wrestling fan and you like AEW, it's a very interesting story.
Or you like Jericho.
Or if you like Jericho. I mean, it's really good. I think it was like an hour long.
Yeah. No, I listened... me and my wife carpooled, and she listened with it to me, like, half there, half on the way home.
Yeah.
And she was... moderately interested in it. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't hate wrestling, but she's not into it either.
Sure.
But she enjoyed that. And you could tell where he gets frustrated telling the story is very similar points that I would, where you're just like, what? Like, because he can admit where he made the mistake of not putting the belt in his bag.
Yeah.
But then he's like, yeah, there's no trunk. I'm not going to put it on the roof. There's no reason to do that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, why did this guy there's a little bit of spoilers here if you haven't seen it, but at one point the guy comes into the restaurant to ask him if he lives in a house or an apartment.
Yeah.
He's like, what does it matter? Like, why does that matter? And then the guy goes back out and he's like, hey, your belt's missing. Like, how would you even know that?
Yeah. Well, like he said, I mean, I think at the time he probably wouldn't even put those things together, but after thinking about it, like, wait, why would all these things? That's just weird.
Yeah, it's So, or I do like so there. Chris Jericho probably hates scalloping at this point, but there's a guy who found the belt, and the question comes up of seeing this felt bag on the side of the road, and you pick it up.
Yeah,
and I had told my wife, I was like, I've held like the current U.S. title belt. Like, I know a guy that won a replica in a Raw Deal card game tournament.
Okay.
So I've held that. It's pretty hefty. I've held what would be the equivalent to the old United States title. Like HWA used that as one of their titles, and it was like the U.S. title, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was pretty heavy too. And just looking at the size of the AEW belt, I was like, that thing's got to be 30 pounds.
Well, that's what that's what he said.
Right, and that's what he said. And I was like, I'm glad that my estimation was right, because that belt is enormous. And I was like, I just can't imagine a world where you pick up a felt bag that's that heavy, and you just throw it in your car.
Well, you're just driving down the road, you see a bag, I'm like, hey, I'm going to pick this up.
I totally believe seeing a large felt bag and being like, I'm in the turn lane, I wonder what's in that. Man, that's heavy. I'm going to invest. I'm not going to just throw it in the back of my car, though.
I'm going to check this out later.
Yeah, like I don't have the patience.
Well, because even like in my neighborhood, we have the garbage scavengers that like sell the metal at the scrap yards or whatever. Even they'll get out and they'll look in to see what they're grabbing. You know, they just like there's the whole trash can in the back.
Yeah, they're not just like, felt bag that's 30 pounds.
Yeah. So it's just it's a good story. If you want to listen to it, go to Talk with Jericho.
You can listen to him just get verbal. You can just tell he's sitting there either twitching or just like gritting his teeth while he's talking a few times, like just he's reliving the moment, and he's just so mad. No. Some of the stuff he gets unreasonably upset about, but I could see too where everyone was, like he talks about like it's a big deal to not lose your title belt.
Yeah,
and he can't believe, like, whether it's his fault or not, he does, bear some responsibility, and he talks about that. So it's real good. You should listen to it if you just like mystery stories.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
It's not quite true crime, but it's a low crime for sure.
A lot of the stuff that happens is very weird.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
other than that, I finally won our battle.
Against that dude
in the Conan Exiles, won the land.
We'll save that for game stuff.
That's fine, but won the land turf. So.
All right. So, do you want to go into, since we got a "Give Me What I Want"? Just start with that, or do you want to start something different?
Yeah, let's do the "Give Me What You Want." We'll do with the request viewer.
Uh-oh.
I'm in control here, and you're going to give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. I've been asking for it, and you're going to give me what I want.
And it's not a request viewer, it's request listener.
I was going to correct that, but then I failed to push the button properly.
Yes.
So this is the culmination, pretty much, of the feud with Jericho and I started to say Jericho and Y2J. Jericho and Shawn. Yeah. Where they get to the ladder match with the title on the line.
So I didn't watch any of that. I watched a little documentary about this whole thing.
Yeah.
So was this a pretty long feud?
Yeah, it was like over a year.
Really? Okay.
It honestly would go back to WrestleMania 19.
Okay.
If you wanted it to, because they had that match where like they had the match. It looked like Jericho was going to almost turn face, where they hugged, and then he just kicks Shawn in the groin, right after, calls him names or whatever. Because, I'm pretty sure, to me, that match is still the best match on that WrestleMania. I'm biased, obviously, because I'm a huge Shawn Michaels fan.
Sure. But I think a lot of people are.
But I don't think people expect, that match had some pretty high expectations, and I think it absolutely delivered on those and exceeded it. Okay. So I think that's what makes it so fondly remembered.
Yeah.
But they had, matches here and there, but I was rereading after watching the match over the whole feud, and I forgot some of the stuff. Now, I didn't forget where Jericho punches Shawn's wife in the face for real.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching that one, and we were like, did he really punch her, or did they have, like... Because due to my family doing beekeeping, I seriously thought somehow Jericho had a honeybee or something. Or someone, like... Somehow they use, like, a honeybee to create swelling like that.
Gotcha, okay.
Like, I was trying to... I was like... But they kept showing, I was like, I think he just really punched her. That's insane.
Yeah.
And turns out that's what happened is she got punched in the face.
So was it an accident, or did they plan it?
Did she
just say, you know what, I'm going to take one for
I
the
believe
team.
it was supposed to be a working style punch.
Gotcha.
But it was a real punch. I assume that Jericho pulled back a little bit.
I assume.
Like there's probably that moment where you're like, uh-oh, and you try to pull back.
Yeah.
But it's still a grown athletic man punching a woman in the face.
Sure.
Even if you don't make a ton of contact.
Yeah.
Like getting punched in the face is going to hurt.
Sure, yeah.
And if you get just right on the lip, it's going to swell up or whatever.
Yeah.
But so they ended up like that worked out for the better of it. But I know Jericho's talked about it on his show, and I've heard Shawn talk about it on different interviews and stuff. Like they apparently just love the whole thing because their processes are so similar.
Yeah.
So they were both like super into this like long, drawn out story and battle that ultimately Jericho saying he's better than Shawn Michaels and him proving that he is.
Well, even like I've heard interviews with wrestlers that actually hate Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Have gave him credit that says he is really into storytelling in matches. So
Yeah. Well, it's something to be said where, like you said, like people hate him.
Yeah.
But they're like in ring and like what he puts into it.
Yeah.
You can't take away from him.
Yeah.
So where I imagine it's like, well, I kind of hate the guy, but I'll gladly work with him because it'll be good.
Sure.
So there's something to be said there. Did you notice at the beginning of this match how long the wait from when Jericho got in the ring?
So we should tell these people when the match was or what pay-per-view.
Oh, this was the No Mercy 2008, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that's what we're
referencing. It's the only ladder match they've had. So,
sure. Just so if someone wants to go back to the WWE Network or any other means.
Yes, I watched it. I started to watch it on Daily Motion because I was too lazy to pull up my phone. And then, for some reason, the WWE app keeps signing me out. Okay. So I had to sign back in. And I hit play on Daily Motion or wherever it was online, and there was a commercial. And I was like, well, can I log in quicker than this commercial?
Yeah.
And I did barely, so I just was like, man, I'm just watching it on my phone now.
Gotcha.
And had my phone propped up and was doing it that way.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah. So, we're not the biggest into WWE currently.
Yeah.
But the WWE Network is still a deal. Like, I think it's hard to.
Sure. I mean,
if you like old stuff.
If you just are a wrestling fan, I mean, I like their table for three.
Yeah.
Stuff.
No, like a lot of the stuff they do is fantastic. So, won't catch me really criticizing that. Now, if they up it to like $20, I'm going to have some issues. But
sure.
But yeah, so when Jericho comes out first, and then Michaels comes out, but it felt like it was an hour. Like, of just Jericho standing in the ring. But the announcers weren't like, oh, Shawn's making him wait.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, nothing happened. Like, what is going on?
And I think I told you this. Seeing Jericho come out without his current song is weird to me.
Yeah.
Because I used to like his old song.
Break the Walls.
Yeah, Break the Walls or whatever.
Yeah.
Listening to his music now.
It's not as good as...
Now, granted, like I told you, his new song is actually a song. So,
right. Yeah, because he's trying to be like Shawn Michaels still. He needs to do his own lyrics.
Yes.
Clearly.
Yes.
It is weird, though, that they're both similar, but they both ended, like, I imagine that he's going to use that as his intro forever. Well, maybe not, because Jericho is kind of weird like that.
Well, like Jericho said, he's like, once I go through a phase, it's over. Right? I don't go back to it, so who knows?
As a song, though, that's, I don't know. Or he'll just write a new song that's good.
Yeah.
But either way, it was weird for me. You got Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole on commentary together.
Yes.
And that's it. And it was weird.
Yeah.
Cole was definitely less micromanaged in this era compared to what it is now. Also, man, Jericho looked like a child.
Yes.
Like, from a age perspective.
Uh-huh.
Hard to go there. Was it weird for you to see him in tights?
Yes, I don't like it.
Before he had like whatever nerve or muscle damage made his chest weird.
Oh, really?
I mean? Like, have you noticed how him and Kofi have similar chest?
No.
They're
I guess I don't.
near the sternum.
Yeah,
it's kind of more sunken in. Like there's something that causes the muscle to not be the same there.
Okay.
So instead of like the normal like full chest, you get this weird kind of. It just goes to the sternum.
Oh, okay.
And it looks off. But I think Jericho has it. I know Kofi has it. There's been a few people I've seen with it, but it's some kind of like skeletal. Like muscular skeletal damage, I believe.
Okay.
And there's nothing really you can do about it.
I'm sure I'll notice it.
Yes.
When you pointed out the Sammy's trunks, I can't not focus on
unsee
that.
them.
So I'm sure I'll focus on that now.
Yes. It's always weird with Kofi because like you can. There's a time where it's like, oh, he did something somewhere, and that's just what it is. So, do you have a preference? We're going to be all over the place with this with some of my notes here. Tights HBK or the weird permanent chaps HBK? I'm talking good, not Elimination Chamber, where it's brown with boots and just like the trunks part is the only thing that has his logos on it.
Yeah, I like the first Sean, I guess.
Yeah, like normal tights.
The normal one, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was better. I don't know if he just wanted a new look or it was to hide the knee braces.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, they're fine, but if I'm playing as Shawn Michaels in a video game,
yes.
I'm picking tights version of Shawn Michaels.
Sure,
every time. So, did anything stick out at the beginning of the match or anything?
Not really. It's funny. Before I watched this match, I watched HBK versus Hulk Hogan. So he wasn't overselling like he did with Hogan. So
there is a No Mercy mod, AKI Evolution, I believe, that the guy put in special kind of like Easter eggs to it.
Yeah.
But there is one where if you are playing as Shawn Michaels or Hulk Hogan and fight the other, like Hogan will do a punch and he basically does like the Phoenix Splash bump for like all of Hogan's like. Anything Hogan does, he just like whatever animation he could for overselling it is used for it. So, but I think he also put in like special stuff like different cell animations for like The Rock taking the stunner.
Okay,
that kind of stuff. But the Hogan Michaels one is one because it just showed Hogan doing a punch and then Mike just flips.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's fantastic to put in the game.
Yeah, Hulkamania was running wild that night.
Yeah. So they kept telling the story of Shawn wanting to injure or maim Jericho.
Yeah.
More than win the match. But I always hate that story in a match because it falls apart somewhere.
Yeah.
And this one, it felt a lot more believable to me.
Okay.
But I always hate when they say that because they're telling two things. They're like, oh, I want to hurt and maim you. Well, the best thing to do is to win the belt. But then there's moments where he doesn't try to win the belt or like, I don't know. Like, it's still excellent. Like, it's real good. Did you catch where Jericho, instead of doing like that triangle corner drop kick, he did like the shoulder block to the outside?
Yes.
I don't remember. Was that? I don't know if you would have been watching at that time. I don't remember him ever doing that in another match. Like, I can't remember if that was the meticulous Jericho, if he had switched that up. Seems like he wouldn't because you'd just be jumping to the outside on your knees for no real reason over and over. And that was just to like blast him.
So, I mean, I'm going to be horrible. During this, I didn't watch WWE at all.
During this era?
I mean, I don't, like, the whole second, like, Shawn Michaels, his whole second run, I didn't see any of that.
You missed out.
Yeah, sure.
I'll tell you that much. But, okay, so I noticed that, you know where they do the seesaw spot with the ladder?
Yes.
Where it flips up into someone's face? Did you see the Joey Mercury thing where his face explodes from that?
No.
So there is a tag match where Mercury, I believe he's on the outside when he was in M&M, and someone catapults the ladder up, and he doesn't get his hands up or something, and his face literally explodes.
Oh.
So before, or it doesn't matter, if I see that spot in a ladder match, I turn away now. Like, I can't watch it because I am horrified that someone's face is going to explode.
Gotcha.
Like, and in this one, I know that doesn't happen, and I still can't watch it.
Gotcha.
I couldn't figure out, so like the match goes on, like there's really not a lot of wrestling moves. For the most part, it's just them beating each other, which goes with the story very well.
Yeah.
Jericho just is bleeding from the mouth at some point, and I'm guessing like towards the end you find out he's like missing a tooth. Okay. So I don't know. I just can't figure out when that happened though, or why.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out too why he was.
Michaels
bleeding.
was up on the ladder. He shoves him over. The only thing I can think is like the little strut that goes in between them. If he caught his mouth on that somehow,
possible.
Like because otherwise I don't know when it would have happened. Like it's hard to say.
Yeah.
So something else I caught is they did the thing where Sean had put the ladder down on the bottom rope, and he was going to do like the knee drop breaker to it.
Yes.
And then they end up in the figure four under the ladder, essentially after Jericho reverses it.
Yeah.
And then Jericho just hits one side of the ladder to send the other into Sean's face.
Yes.
I don't think Sean put a hand up. It looked like he just took that full on in the face.
He might have. Maybe he is so dedicated to his craft that he's like, you know what, I'm taking one.
Because he had like the left arm was definitely down. He might have had the right arm up in the camera shot. You just couldn't see how the arm moved up from the elbow, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was just watching it and I like rewound it because I was like, did he just like it wasn't soft at all. And then they go on from there. The next thing that was notable to me is Jericho's on the outside and Sean takes like, I think it was an 8-foot ladder, but it might have been a 6-foot, and just throws it on him.
Yes. And I see you have it in your notes there, that elbow drop.
Yes.
I'm like, why would you do that? That's going to hurt you more than anything.
I couldn't tell. Well, before that, we had the announcer table thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the announce tables are more often further away from the ring now.
Okay. Yeah.
Although on Raw, they seem to find their way to the announce tables just as often as they did in the past.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of over that style announce table because now I do want to know how it works. Like if there's like a lever that the announcer pulls that makes it where it collapses.
It's just breakaway.
Yeah, because I understand, like, it's obviously like 4 or 5 parts that collapse. Yeah. But is there something that keeps it sturdy? And then, so that, they don't accidentally move it when they're at the desk and it just explode on them?
Yeah.
And then, like, because sometimes you'll see where they seem like real surprised that they're coming over, like, legitimately. Yeah. And someone just gets planted on the table. And you're like, oh, that probably sucked.
Well, yeah, I don't know because they do stand on it, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Yeah,
I'm not standing on a breakaway table.
Yeah, I would love to know the magic behind the table. Like what exactly it is, or if it's just a certain impact will always do it.
Could be. I don't know.
There's something to it, but yeah, like because on Revolution, I think it was in the first match they set up that table that Hangman eventually put one of the Bucks through.
Yeah, I
like something like that better. Where it's...
do you think Tony Khan went somewhere and just bought like a warehouse full of old tables and chairs?
I would assume so.
Because
I've heard people talk about how hard it is to find that style of table.
Yeah.
And they're expensive. I've also seen on the indies where they said that's why they're using doors on some of them. Like if you've seen that, you can buy like those hollow wooden doors.
Sure.
They're using those because they're cheaper.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't make sense. Why would you have a door?
Because tables are expensive. Like, look, I want to beat you and I want to hurt you, but I'm on a budget.
Yeah.
So you're going through a door.
I'm sure you could have somebody. There has to be a small business out there that just makes like that particle board type
wooden table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it as long as you can make the braces and stuff.
Yeah.
But you really don't even need that. I mean, but you want it to look like a legitimate table.
Sure.
The weird thing is, though, that the table's going to hurt less than just hitting the ground.
Sure.
Generally.
Sure.
And I have something to talk about later. Unless you're getting like suplexed onto a table over and over and it doesn't break. Like I'll take the breaking.
Yeah.
As someone at a punk show, I have jumped off a ladder and put my guitar through a table.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt. Like it's fine.
So anyway, back to the match. Yeah. I didn't mean to sidetrack it.
No, that's fine. But yeah, so he just drops the elbow on the ladder.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell.
That hurt my arm a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if like the intent was that Jericho was supposed to grab it while he was in the air and get it over him, or if Sean was just driving it into him.
Yeah.
But not a good idea.
No.
The line, let's see. Oh, yeah. So, Sean tuning up the band for Chin Music. Mm-hmm. Man, how awesome is it to not have the crowd count along for whatever reason with him tuning up the band?
Yeah.
I never understood why that became a thing.
Yeah.
Like, because his first run, like, there would be, like, you know, he'd get where he was, like, going real fast with it and then, you know, trying to, like, time it, basically.
Yeah.
And then somehow, I would love to know the audience that was the show where they're like, we should count along with this for no reason.
Sure.
I've never heard anyone ask him in an interview about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you think about the crowd randomly just deciding to start counting when you were I hate it so much. Like, it always made me mad. But yeah, we end up getting to a lion salt on the ladder.
Yep.
Ow.
Yes.
Like,
because all those moves, I'm like, you're not hurting the person underneath the ladder. If anything, the ladder is...
Well, it's like laying on a bed. Like, if you're going from a realistic... It's like being on a bed of nails. It disperses it, but you're just blasting yourself with it. I mean, it looks good.
It does.
If I had to choose one of the two, I would rather get the elbow drop done to me because that looked like it would destroy Sean, where the lion salt would definitely have... Like, if he goes high on the face, it's going to hurt.
Yes.
So, that's fine. But we get... So, the match goes on. Again, there's not a lot of wrestling moves. It's just them beating the crap out of each other.
No, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Well, so, like you said, there's not a lot of wrestling moves. I like how it ended because I like the one part where Jericho put the ladder on top of Sean and starts climbing up it because that makes sense. Why wouldn't you do that?
I've seen a few ladder matches in that way.
Yeah.
What was horrifying, though, equally horrifying to the other stuff we've already seen, is Jericho's at the top of a 712-foot ladder.
Yeah.
And then just goes to the outside.
Yeah. So
it looks like the WWE cage. He basically jumped off the top of the cage, like the normal cage, not like a stupid Hell in a Cell size cage. But it's like jumping higher than the top rope and just eating it on the outside. And the way that ladder slingshots on the rope was like, oh man, that's scary.
So I actually rewound that part a couple times. I mean, if he's not careful with the way his placement where his legs are, and he gets his legs caught in that, it's going to hurt.
Well, it's like when you saw, was it Nick Jackson, where his leg gets caught and he hits the leg. Yeah. There's not a lot of room for error.
Yeah. So, and like you said, when he fell out, because he had to like jump away from the ladder, and that ladder slung. They're lucky that it slingshot back into the audience or whatever. Right.
Well, that or now, granted, like the canvas is like a rug, so it's less likely to happen. But if the ladder would have like scooted out, like instead of bracing, if he would have shot like.
Yeah, there's
you can tell we're old,
yes,
because that's how we're looking at it. Not like, oh, that was awesome, like it was,
yes,
but
now you look at it like you're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to see someone die,
yes,
or be paralyzed.
Oh.
I think I would rather see someone die from an injury than be paralyzed from an injury.
Sure.
I don't know if that makes me morbid in a way, but I'm not sure. I'll have to think on that, but I'm pretty sure. And I'm not talking like gruesome. I'm saying like they hit the ground and it's over. Yeah. Versus you hit the ground and you're like, they're alive, but they just broke their neck. I don't ever need to see that in my life.
Yeah.
So when we get towards the finish part, they're fighting, climbing up the ladder. It made me think of something that I'd like to do one day is do a whole bunch of cardio drills.
Okay.
Like burpees, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Get to where I'm completely blown up.
Okay. And
see how quickly I can climb a ladder. Because there's always like wrestling, climbing a ladder is forever.
Yes.
And they're obviously in very good shape regardless. But I'm curious as to how exhausted I have to make myself.
Yes.
Where it would be that hard to climb a ladder.
And then as you get up to the top, I push the ladder.
Over. That's fine. I mean, I would expect it at that point. But yeah, so Lance Cade comes out.
Who is this guy?
He was actually trained by Shawn Michaels. Okay. He, if I am correct, has passed away.
Okay.
His gimmick at one point in one of the smaller feds, is he would like kind of tap it. He was doing a super kick because he was trained by Michaels.
Okay.
I assume. Just like if you're trained by Malenko, you did a cloverleaf.
Gotcha, okay.
Referring mainly to Chad Collier. But he would like load his boot with something. Like there was a metal plate in his boot or whatever, so he'd like kind of readjust it down by the toes, and then he'd super kick people with it.
Okay.
I can't remember what his WWE finisher was, but him and Trevor Murdoch were a tag team at one point.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
He didn't miss a ton, but I mean, he wasn't, I don't know that he was the greatest ever, but he was definitely good. He's a pretty big guy.
For this match,
like,
so he was Shawn Michaels' protege or whatever.
Well, he was trained by Shawn, but he was a lot allied with Jericho at this time.
Sure. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So there was, like, I believe they worked some of that in. I didn't read too much on that part of it.
Gotcha.
It's been a long time. But yeah, he comes in and causes the interference. I always hate that in ladder matches.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, the interference to the match, I hate it. Because it just feels cheap.
Sure.
Now, I could honestly see with the way Jericho is, where he doesn't want to be cheered.
Yeah.
That he was like, I would imagine Shawn would be like, well, you can just beat me. But I could almost see Jericho being like, well, yeah, but then I'm going to get people's respect. I need something cheap to beat you.
Someone to lose
so that I can take all the credit for it. So I could actually see that is
makes sense.
That is intended, and it
storytelling.
absolutely works.
Yeah.
Well, it makes me hate Jericho even more. He's screwed over Dean Malenko and Shawn Michaels.
Sure.
What a man. So at the end, though, so they get where Shawn and Jericho are doing like that tug of war for the belt. Mm-hmm. Like Jericho does the layback, one-handed hold on to the belt strap.
Yeah.
Talk about confidence in your grip strength.
Yes.
Nothing like accidentally losing your title.
And confidence that Shawn Michaels that he's not going to let go of it.
Like, yeah, just like let go just to get a little bit of a jerk on you. And I don't think Shawn wanted the belt, so I don't think there was any issue with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just too sweaty or something.
Yeah.
Man, that would have... How different would history be at this point?
Sure.
But, so Jericho ends up winning this one. Mm-hmm. And he's got the blood all over his face. Well, not like a ton of blood, but just that little bit of blood on his face.
Okay.
I think gave a more striking image for the end of that match.
Yeah. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. From Wrestling Observer, it earned the Match of the Year.
Okay.
And it was also somewhere voted at like Feud of the Year.
Okay.
So, I had made a reference to a dude getting suplexed on a table over and over. Mm-hmm. There was, in 2000, before Shawn came back at SummerSlam, he had a match in TWA, Texas Wrestling Alliance, against this guy Venom.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things, like, I knew that match was going on in 2000.
Yeah.
I had no way, like, I don't think they streamed it, obviously, back then.
Sure.
Like, I don't think it was a pay-per-view thing.
Yeah.
So I never got to see this match. And I kind of forgot about it, because I knew it was a street fight, and it wasn't a great match.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. But somehow I actually found a link to a YouTube video of it, so I decided to watch that, just for a nostalgia's sake.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the match, there's a table set up. The Venom guy has Shawn handcuffed to the ropes, and he's beating him.
Yeah.
Some dude comes out, I don't remember his name, and he goes to T-bone suplex this Venom guy onto this table.
Okay.
He up and over, table doesn't break. The guy's still holding on to him. His back is arched all crazy.
Yeah.
They roll over, and the table falls over with him, and you're like, I wonder if he's going to try again.
Yeah.
Sets the table back up. They're on the other side. Grabs him, hooks the leg, hooks the head.
Yeah.
T-bone. Table doesn't break, just eats it. Rolls off the table. He's looking around. He kind of looks at Shawn. I'm assuming Shawn was like, get him through the table.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's like, all right, I'm going to powerbomb him through the table.
Okay.
Table does not break on the powerbomb. The leg finally gives out, but it's just kind of laying there at a weird angle.
Sure.
And the guy just like gives up. He gets Shawn out of the handcuffs. Shawn walks over and is kind of looking at it, picks the guy up and power slams him through the table finally, and then super kicks him. But it's like, man, this guy's probably like, Jesus, just get me through this table.
So how did you see this match?
It's just linked on YouTube.
Oh,
I found a link to it somewhere.
Gotcha.
You can probably just search for it, Shawn vs. Venom or something like that.
Gotcha.
Again, it's just a street fight. There's nothing... You're not going to see it and be like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But you can kind of tell Shawn's real worried about his back.
Sure.
Or plays it up really well.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell with him because knowing the back injury, like he could just start selling the back a little bit, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I wonder if he's really hurt.
Sure. Oh, but it's kind of like the Jacksons.
Yeah. Where Matt convinced everyone that, that his back was injured.
So, since we're talking about wrestling, do you just want to go right into wrestling?
We might as well. We'll do the proper bumper.
I don't know what the hell's going on here, folks. Looks like it's just revolution.
This is a revolution.
All right. So, do you want to start with the little bit of Raw or SmackDown?
Yeah, we could go to WWE because I
just
don't
get through
know a lot about
All right.
what's going on.
So, I actually watched a decent amount of Raw this week.
Okay.
Drew just obliterates Brock in the beginning with 3 claymores
Oh,
just
yeah.
all over the place.
I saw that.
So that was
They're
pretty
close.
good. Nice to show that he can, Claymore is going to be effective against Brock, I assume is what they're going for.
Now, I've heard people talk about this on the dirt sheets and see what you think.
Okay.
Do you think they should have saved the Claymore for WrestleMania?
Like he couldn't hit it.
Well, yeah,
Like, every time he Brock
it-
kept avoiding it.
to make it special. Like, oh wow, the Claymore.
I can see that argument from every time he goes for it, Lesnar ducks out of the way or he reverses it, and it's like, if you're telling the story that Brock has actually scouted Drew enough to recognize looking out for the Claymore to where it's going to be really hard to hit it.
Yeah.
I could see going that route.
Okay.
Now, I could also see, though, is that a few times, like on Monday, and then maybe another episode down the road between now and then,
Yeah.
Drew just keeps laying him out with it. Like,
Gotcha, okay.
It's his kryptonite, basically. But then when you get to the match, Brock is excellent at avoiding it.
Yeah.
So you can get to the same story. Now, do I have the faith that that story will be told to us? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
But so I could go either way. I get the idea though of like he hit, or maybe he hit it once. Like he hit it one time on Monday, but then there's more Lesnar showing up, and he can just never hit him with it again because Lesnar's prepared.
Yeah.
And then you get to that. But I think you can get to that story either way.
So I think McIntyre would be a good champion. And I think right now Vince probably thinks that. I'm thinking at WrestleMania, I think he's going to change his mind. I think Brock is going to win the belt again.
I mean, would I be shocked?
Yeah.
No. I mean, it is that unpredictability because you really don't know with Lesnar. Like, you can never count him out,
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, we'll move on from there. So Kevin Owen gives the Street Profits the tag belts.
Okay.
Basically, he shows up and hits a stunner, and then the Street Profits win. That's
Okay.
what I remember from that. Overall, it was a good match. But,
Did they get the smoke?
yeah, whatever that means.
Yes.
And then the crowd also got the red cup all over the place.
Nice.
So I would like to take, because there's a lot of, I haven't seen it lately, but the Street Profits and Private Party got a lot of criticism. I would like to interchange the two teams.
Okay.
Like the guy that screams from Private Party,
Yeah.
that does the scream, trade him. Like, however, like I'd like to see a mix between those two teams and see
Okay.
what you get.
Yeah.
Because there is some similarities, but not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird.
They like I think I've said this before. Someone stole somebody's gimmick. I don't know who did it.
Right. I mean, it's definitely
It's very similar with each other.
kind of. Well,
Yeah.
the one's more Private Party, and the other's like the good. It seems like Private
Sure.
Party should be bad guys.
They should be. Yeah,
But-
I think they.
but they're likable.
And actually, I think they would probably be better as heels. But
Well, yeah, well, because it's a Private Party, you're not allowed to be in there.
yes,
And then Hangman Page just keeps owing them $12.
yes.
Okay, so I am not familiar with Riddick Moss at all, but I have here where Ricochet loses to some dude, the 24/7 champ, Riddick Moss.
Dude. So yeah, now that's another thing. So are they making the 24/7 championship belt like actually a legitimate belt instead of a comedy gag?
I really don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know enough about Riddick Moss to know if
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
right if that is I feel like that's a step down for Ricochet to just get beat by this guy.
Okay.
Especially coming off getting just murdered
Yes.
by Lesnar. It seems weird if you have high hope, like you're giving Ricochet a match against Lesnar, and then you're having him lose to a guy who I would assume doesn't have a ton of fanfare. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But
I 100% don't know anything about.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know a lot about Ricochet either, but I know he's good.
Yeah, he's very, very good.
Yeah.
So for that, it just seemed off to me. I don't know. Maybe there's a plan, but I would assume no, based on past history. Now, they did do a gauntlet match, basically, with Black and Rollins. Not Rollins.
Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, AJ Styles.
Yeah.
And I liked that because it gives Styles a win over somebody that matters, but in the dirtiest way possible. Now, I do like when they... It's funny that good guys never read contracts. They just sign. Because they just want... they want what they want.
Yeah.
And so, usually, if you give me like that style of he gets beat by AJ, but there's a reason, like 100% he was weakened. Like, even if they were leading up to a big pay-per-view match between the two of them, and they're having them touch like this on an episode, I'm okay with that if it's a one-and-done deal. Now, if the next week it's Aleister Black and some dude in a tag team match against the club, and then the week after that it's a fist fight, like, I'm going to be like, by the time the pay-per-view rolls around, I don't care.
Yes.
So I'm not going to use the exact wording I put here, but...
Well, you could. You just have to go back and put the goose noise in.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. So, in Rowan's cage, he pulls out a freaking spider.
Yes.
A gigantic...
Robotic.
Sure.
Very, very cheap looking. You could tell not a real spider type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I was reading Reddit at the time this happened, because I was like, I bet the internet's going to have a field day with this, because I was like, are they actually going to show it in a backstage segment?
Yeah.
With No Way Jose? That's who they're doing this with? All right. And he pulls out the spider, and I was like, I would love to. I should have taken a picture of my face, because it was just, are you kidding? All this build up, and we get a big spider.
So, have you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, the suitcase.
The suitcase. I think somebody was watching Pulp Fiction that came up with this idea, maybe.
And didn't realize that you can't pay it off.
Yes, because it makes you wonder more what was actually in that briefcase that was bright and shiny, and everyone was like, "Oh, wow,"
Yeah, it's like, what is that?
Yeah, they should. Well, the cage was stupid anyway. They should. I don't know. They should have done something.
I would love to know what the original thought. Like, if there was an original idea, and then unfortunately it got where like, oh, people are wondering what's in it.
Yeah,
let's build it up. Be like, well, the longer you build it, the better the payoff has to be. Now, someone, I don't remember the username of the person. They're like, what if the cage is a gateway to people's fear, and it's a different thing every time you pull something out? And it's like, that would actually be kind of interesting.
Sure.
You play off Wyatt apparently has some magical powers of some kind.
Yeah.
He's part of the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
You could have different things for different people. Okay.
Yeah.
Weird that No Way Jose or someone in his group is scared of robotic giant spiders.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Now, and the thing is, if WWE goes that route, I'm not going to give them credit that was their intent.
Yeah.
Because once they've revealed something, they can't shut up about it. So I think they would have immediately told you that that's what it was. So if all of a sudden he's pulling different stuff out, they read Reddit and sold that idea.
Could be.
That's my negativity towards them coming out for sure.
I don't know, because I've heard from the dirt sheets that I guess McMahon was heavily involved in this Raw, because I guess he ripped up the script a bunch of times.
Yeah.
They said, which is probably why it was so bad.
Well, like,
I don't know.
There was some really good stuff on this one. I mean, usually I don't care, but like after the cage, I kind of stopped watching.
Okay.
Like, I turned it off. I was like, I'm done. That's enough Raw for tonight. So there was a bunch of stuff that I didn't even read the results. Like, I just skimmed through it, and I was like, did Randy Orton RKO Beth Phoenix? Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. So that's fine. But and then we were actually talking online playing Hearthstone, and I was watching SmackDown, and I don't remember what happened.
Yeah.
So
like I said, I saw Otis, who was way over with the fans. I guess they beat a bunch of tag teams.
Yeah, no, they did. Yeah, the Gauntlet match. I kind of forgot. And they did real good in that.
And then they lose to
Ziggler and Rude.
Old Ziggler there. Old Zig.
At the end of a Gauntlet match, I'm okay with that one.
Okay.
The fear would be that you're going to get heavy machinery where everybody wants to see them win, and then they're going to lose, and the people are still going to be behind them, and they're going to lose. Then people are going to lose interest, and then they'll finally win.
Yes.
When the moment has passed.
Yeah.
So
I did hear a funny story that I guess WWE. Now, I don't know if this is true. I can imagine it is true. That WWE is taking all of or like copywriting all of like Revival's catchphrases.
Yeah, there's some like weird battle
back and forth with each
where
other.
there's like flips, fists, or whatever with
WWE,
a comma.
Yeah, WWE got that, but they got the top guys, and it's funny.
Who knows? They'll probably end up re-signing anyway. and then we'll all be like, "Man, I don't care about you guys anymore."
Sure.
Just stop.
Well, I mean, and that's how it was with Gallows and Anderson. I mean, I was like, oh, they would actually be pretty cool in AEW, and then they re-signed. I was like, okay, I don't care anymore.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're making money, so good for them.
Sure. Yeah, good for them.
Let's see here. So we got AEW following Revolution. I had a little note here where my overall thought of this show was it was definitely a step back from the last few Dynamites, but that was kind of you were hitting the climax going into the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard to match that ramp up of storytelling, and it feels like this was kind of like a step back to set the next part of the stories in motion.
Yeah. See, I kind of viewed this pay-per-view, this Dynamite as kind of a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
They're resetting. They're like you said, they're getting new stories. So
Yeah.
I mean, you're all right. It's not as good as the other Dynamites, but
right. But again, if you're building up the story, it's going to be hard to. You just can't keep rising forever. There's got to be a come down at some point.
You got to introduce who Luke Skywalker is before you just have him start fighting Darth Vader because you ain't gonna know who.
Right.
So
and with this one, they got War Games. I'm not calling it Blood and Guts, by the way. It's War Games.
Yes.
We got War Games coming up.
Yeah.
I hope they. I don't know what they would call it. So maybe they don't want to be like this is. Battle game, battle games. They're like, we need something totally different to call it, so here we go.
Yes.
But with this, so you start out, you got Excalibur, Shivani, and Jim Ross. Moxley comes out and kicks it off. He panders to the crowd yet again, telling them that it's their belt just as much as his or whatever.
Every time a wrestler does that, I think back to what Scott Hall said. He said it. I don't know who he said it to. He's like, "Yeah, get your cheap plugs in." He's like, "Get your cheap cheers in." Yeah.
Well, I read someone was talking about it. They're like, it felt kind of the fact that he's so big on the bringing pro wrestling back that it did feel a little bit more heartfelt from him. Sure. Kind of like when Bryan does it. Like Bryan loves Daniel Bryan. That is loves pro wrestling. So these two, you can kind of buy it from them a little bit better than a lot of people. Hopefully this is the end of it, though. I don't need the supposed badass character pandering to the crowd every week.
Sure. I did now, and this pays off later. I did read, and I actually rewatched it.
Yeah, where they had the luchadors
the three guys.
In the seats.
Yeah.
And they even cut to them in the crowd.
Yep.
Which
is amazing. Because I don't think WWE would ever have done something like that.
I don't know. And to be fair, I don't know if people would expect it to even look for it.
Sure.
At that point. But, and previously on the Halloween show, I think it was Santana and Ortiz were in the Rick and Morty mask.
Yeah.
But they were at ringside forever.
Yeah.
Clapping and cheering into the matches and stuff to make it less noticeable, I guess.
Yeah.
So we got Jericho comes out and basically says that, one, he doesn't need a belt to be the champion. And then...
You kind of do, but...
he can call himself whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I like that he He called Moxley a liar because he spent his time training to fight a one-eyed opponent.
Yes.
And it's not fair that he can actually see.
Yes. That was good.
One of the most, a snake oil salesman and a cheater, he called him.
I mean, it is amazing that they were just coming up with this stuff right off the top of their heads.
Yeah.
That's not scripted. They didn't rehearse that. Now, I'm sure maybe Jericho probably did rehearse that in his mind what he's going to say.
Yes.
But as far as like no one else,
yeah,
it's just amazing.
Well, there's an interview with Cody where he's like, when people tell you that they're doing it off the cuff, he's like, there might not be a writer involved, but when they're taking a shower, when they're driving in the car, they're going over these promos.
Oh, sure.
He was like, I do it.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to say that some of that stuff just comes to me off the top of my head.
Sure.
But I'll think of something great and save it for later.
Yeah.
So, but either way, it's still them doing it themselves.
Yeah.
So it's still better. But basically, he says that they're going to become like a hit squad or they're going rogue or whatever, and it makes them more dangerous.
Yep.
Which turns out to be the case as the show progresses.
Well, and then he says, if you don't beat me, or if I don't beat you,
like you're not leaving the building on your own, or I'm gone. He ups it eventually to 60 days.
And I was thinking,
like,
I was like,
oh, that's how they write him off.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, that's how he's going to do his Fozzy tour type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if you looked at the dates of the Fozzy tour, which I did not bother, I found this out on the internet.
Yeah.
None of the Fozzy dates supposedly are on Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
So he could still be around if he wanted.
100%.
But I was under the impression that this might be him going away for a while, which would be fine.
Yeah.
But let's see here. So we start, first match, we get Colt Cabana showing up with SCU. Mm-hmm. They are against the Dark Order.
This is the first actual real a match that I've actually seen Colt Cabana actually wrestle a lot in.
Yeah. What do you think?
I thought he was pretty
Were
good.
you surprised?
Yeah, I mean, because I thought he was more of like
a
the one match I saw him and he was wrestling. I don't know, somebody. It was a comedy match. And I was like, this is terrible. I would not get into this at all. So I thought that's what they were going to go with. I was like, are you really going to put Dark Order into a comedy match? That's not going to help them at all.
He's really good if he's doing like legitimate wrestling. But he's really good at the comedy stuff too, if you can get into that style match.
Yeah.
Or just, if you can just turn your brain off and be like, I know it's pro wrestling, but this is even weirder than pro wrestling if you think about it.
Yes.
Like, he's fine.
Yeah.
We got, like, really, there's not anything that's, like, super crazy in the whole thing.
Not really.
Other than the Dark Order lost.
The Superman finisher was pretty cool.
Oh, where he does the thing and then, like, catches him in, like, the, whatever you call it.
I've never seen that before, so it was neat for me to see it.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so good match, like nothing to write home about. Evil Uno is very displeased, and tells us the heads are going to roll.
Yeah.
Somehow, I did not catch this match at all for Britt Baker on commentary against Big Swole and Leva Bates.
Apparently, Twitter loved it.
Really, like, oh yeah, because you sent me the thing where like Big Swole was trending above NXT at the time.
No, it was after the match. It was like after AEW. AEW was trending for like 2 hours. I mean, I don't know how Twitter works as far as they're trending, but people were still talking about her like 2 hours after the thing or whatever, because she was ranked like 10 and like NXT was like 14 or 15 or whatever.
No idea.
Anyway.
I mean, I don't know that means a lot, but
I guarantee you, TNT probably monitors that type of stuff, though.
I'm sure, but there's no telling what's actually going on.
It's true.
Because it could be that NXT was so exciting that no one was picking up their phone to tweet something.
Very true.
Really, it's a reverse indicator.
It's very true, yeah.
Because, again, like, I don't watch much NXT, but I'm usually a fan of it. We got Cody come down. Mm-hmm. So I am currently watching the AEW through the Fight app with the AEW Plus.
Okay.
If you want to figure out how to do that, you can Google on the internet and figure out how to make that happen. So there's no commercial breaks. You don't get the picture-in-picture. But so Cody is just talking about the people around the ring or whatever. I don't know if your feed does that.
Oh, okay. So when you said that to me, so I get the picture-in-picture, but because I'm watching it on Sling, I get the commercials. So,
So he's basically just in the ring talking to the crowd, and he points out the camera guy, and then for some reason there were dudes walking around the ring with leaf blowers. And he's like, man, you guys are worse than my dad. You're just making it worse. I don't know what they were cleaning up. But just strange little side note there.
Sure.
Okay. So he finally comes back and is getting ready to talk, basically like about losing to MJF and all that stuff. And we get Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
With half his head shaved.
Yeah.
Coming out. Supposedly he's supposed to be having a procedure, I read. I don't know if that's true because who knows with stuff on the internet if it's true or not.
Okay. A procedure, what do you mean?
He's having some kind of surgery done or something.
Oh, okay.
Or who knows?
Yeah. It's good to see Jake the Snake back.
Yeah. Cody's not a small guy. Mm-hmm. Jake is a big dude.
That's what a lot of the dirt sheets were saying. Or not dirt sheets. That's the Twitter and everything.
Yeah, like they never realized how big Jake was.
Yeah, well, there was somebody said that, like, he's going to tower over him being a manager to somebody. You're going to give him a pretty big person because he's going to tower over the person he's managing.
Yes. Well, and then he basically is saying, like, he's coming to collect on Cody.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, he says Dark Side's coming. But I was like, really? It says, are we going to have Superman in here to fight Dark Side?
Right. It'll be interesting to see where they are. One of the good things was I'm not in AEW to take the whole pie.
Yeah.
It's just your share.
Yeah, that's
good.
So it was a very good promo.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to see him involved a little bit. If he's working with somebody, I assume it's going to help him out.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to either be Brody Lee or Archer. I assume it's Archer because Archer did a bunch of stuff on the on the Twitters.
Did he?
About it? Yeah. So
either one of those two, or if they paired those two guys up, that'd be a nasty pair.
Yeah.
They seem to like teams, or they're leaning a little bit towards factions.
Yes. Well, I think they're going more towards because doesn't New Japan do that? They have a lot of factions over there.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense though that if
in real life, I would want a faction if this is real. Right. And I'm going into every week, and I don't know who to trust. Whatever, I want as many people watching my back as I can.
Well, if it's like, okay, so you got, we'll get to them, the Death Triangle. All of a sudden, It's like, so if I'm fighting one of them, I might have two other people I got to worry about. Well, I want someone on my side too.
Yeah,
like it would make sense to have strength of numbers. Now, generally, I don't care for that.
Yeah,
but we'll see because there's a period where WWE had a bunch of the 4-man teams.
Well, they had
the bikers, the Bariquas.
Well, those were dumb teams because you had the bikers, you had whoever
Los Bariquas. There was
Nation of Domination. Was they around then?
Yep. Yeah, you had like a few different ones.
And then you had the cool one, D-Generation X.
Yeah, but I hated like all that stuff. I usually hate multi-man matches too, though.
Yeah.
So like. Tag team and 3-way matches have gotten a lot better over the years. Like, regardless of what federation they're much better.
Yeah.
They used to just be a complete mess.
Yeah.
Now, even if they're a mess, they're exciting.
Sure.
So I can handle a little bit better.
Before we move away from Jake the Snake, did you hear what he said? What Vince told him? I guess a long time ago.
What's that?
I guess Jake the Snake was started working out, and he was actually packing on muscles.
Where he was like, if I see you in a gym, I'm going to fine you.
Yeah.
But he was like, man, I should have just paid the fine. It would have been cheaper than the Coke.
He's like, if I wanted a muscle person, I would have just put the belt on Hogan or whatever.
Right.
He's like, a snake is supposed to be slimy.
Yeah, it is weird though.
Yeah.
But like Jake would have been, like, I can't remember seeing him jacked up like that.
Yeah.
But he'd be scary.
Sure.
And like, it's weird too, though, to think like I always thought of Jake as a smaller guy. Mm-hmm. So how big is Undertaker compared to everyone on the AEW roster?
Oh yeah, I mean, you look back at all those guys in like WWE back in the '80s and stuff. They must have been giants.
Yeah, like literal.
Yeah,
like the BFG, like Big Friendly Giant.
Yeah,
like you just eat beans, not human beings.
Yeah,
Roald Dahl, if anyone's aware. So we got Pac against Chuck Taylor. Mm-hmm. It's a match. I don't know what more you want. So Lucha Bros come out eventually, and they are now the Death Triangle.
Yes.
So we will get Pentagon screaming another Spanish phrase over and over and over.
You know what? I like it. I like the Lucha Brothers. I like Pac.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good team.
I like it.
Because
all three of them make good bad guys.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think they'll be good. We're going to get to where we're getting crazy tag and 3-man matches though, so I'm excited. I'd like to see if I could have like a wish with some of the teams and stuff that you have, getting like the actual Shield. Like if you could have Moxley, Rollins, and Reigns, because when they were doing the 3-man tags in WWE, their stuff was real good. I'd like to see them have some matches, like 3-way matches against some of these teams, like Bucks and Kenny against them.
Sure.
Get a New Day.
I mean, WWE would have to hit rock bottom for Rollins and
yeah, right.
Reigns.
We're never going to see it.
Yes,
I would like to.
Yeah.
Like,
it would be cool. Yeah.
It's all right. We'll eventually get the top guys or whatever they're going to be. We got more
Shatter Machine is from what I heard.
That would be a pretty good name.
Yeah.
Do they change the name of the finisher though?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they'd be like, "Oh, demolition!
Well,
they're getting ready to hit him with the demolition." What?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if, like I said, I'm not getting my hopes up with the Revival because I could 100% them re-signing in April. So
when they're offered $2 million or something crazy.
Sure.
So we get more of Sean Spears apparently breaking AEW's website or something.
According to Cody, yep.
So
Simon Miller, buddy. Simon Miller.
I don't know what to expect the end result of this is. Like, is there really? Are they just looking for somebody they think will be good?
I mean,
do they have someone they plan?
Oh, yeah.
This is how they're introducing them.
Well, so have you clicked on it and seen some of the videos of the wrestlers that are?
No, I have zero desire to do that.
I mean, it's a bunch of indies guys that I've seen. The only one I saw was Simon Miller.
Yeah.
And if anyone doesn't know who that is, he's part of the ups and downs on Walk Culture on YouTube. He's a pretty good guy. He's really good.
Does he actually wrestle?
He does wrestle, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he started like 3 years ago, maybe. I don't know. He just recently started. So I think he's been wrestling for years.
Right. But either way, I mean, it'll be real interesting, like, what comes out of it. Like, I don't know what to expect for the end result here.
Yeah.
All right. So we got QT Marshall is going against the Big Hurt, Frank Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Jake Hager.
Yes.
So, yet again, I am super surprised at QT Marshall.
Yeah.
Like, he just doesn't look like an athletic guy.
No.
He clearly is.
Yes.
It'll eventually go away. But, so he does the arm triangle and puts him out.
Yeah.
They break it up. You get a bunch of stuff. Matt Jackson, like, you basically get, it's a breakdown of
the arm triangle. I know it would hurt in real life. It just looks weird. It looks like you're just giving the guy a hug.
I've always been a fan of the on the ground arm triangle where you usually lock it in and then you have to switch your, like, if I'm on the left side and you get locked in and you have to, like, transition over to the right side to get the right pressure on it. I think that looks better, but the standing one, for as big as Hager is,
sure,
that's fine. I mean, I know it's a legitimate move, so I've seen people lose to it in MMA, so it's fine, but it's not very flashy.
No, it's not.
Is the problem with it.
But I think that kind of goes with that character. The character is not very flashy, so...
Yeah. I saw someone upset that he's not wearing a singlet. Like, that was that's their problem with Hager.
Okay.
Of everything in the world, to have a problem with the guy about not wearing a singlet.
Hey,
I don't like his knee pads.
People like what they like, I guess. Hey, we criticize every week about costumes.
Yep.
About costumes. So, I mean,
well, I just think it's funny, like, that's the, like, this wasn't like I just don't like, it was like, I can't believe he would not wear, he looks like an idiot. Like,
sure.
Not like, this bothered, like, this person was angry.
Sure.
Like, they would not say anything to Jake Hager's face, but they would.
Yes.
Because they're like, oh, this dude could kill me.
Yeah.
But we get just total breakdown. Everybody's out, jailbreak, whatever you want to call it. But the best moment is when Hangman comes out.
Yes.
I guess strolling to the ring or whatever with his beer.
Yes.
He hits a buckshot lariat, flips Matt Jackson off, and then leaves.
Yes. So I actually saw something on I don't even know where. I went down a rabbit hole, and somebody was actually comparing, because they were saying how Hangman is basically a Stone Cold ripoff. And this guy was like, actually he's not. The guy actually, he did the Stone Cold. He's like, Stone Cold came out with a beer can.
Yeah.
Sandman came out with a beer can. What's his name? The guy from TNA. He's in NWA.
Beer Money guy.
Yeah.
It was Rude and crap.
Chris
Harris.
No.
Not Chris Harris. That was Wildcat Chris Harris.
Well, anyway, he came out with a beer bottle.
Yeah.
Hangman comes out with a beer
James
cup.
Storm.
That's it. James Storm, yeah. But he's like, Hangman comes out with a cup, but he's like, also Hangman steals people's beer.
Well, they give it to him.
He already gives them to him, yes.
Until he gets corona herpes.
I really hope those are plants, because
I don't know. Like,
would it be funnier if he gets to the point where he's so addicted to beer, he's stealing cups from people?
like for real? Like it's really just like, I need this.
I really hope they put that with the character. That'd be funny.
I assume we're leading to, since there's news of Nick having a child.
Yeah.
Or not him, obviously. This isn't Junior with Arnold Schwarzenegger. But his family having a child.
Yes.
That we're going to get like a singles match between Paige and Jackson.
Could be. Because I heard Kenny actually broke his hand or something at that pay-per-view. Which would make sense, because as we was watching that pay-per-view, he was actually doing a lot with his hand.
More than normal.
Yeah.
He's usually pretty jazzy with
Yeah.
the hands to begin with.
Spirit fingers.
But yeah, so I don't know, like for me, like the whole thing of that, like Paige's like minute and a half that he was out there was my favorite part of the whole thing.
Oh, sure.
It is crazy to think that when Hangman fought Jericho for the belt, I don't think anyone cared. Like
he wasn't established yet,
right? Like I mean, you could tell that there's something about like he seems like the kind of guy that should be something, but something was missing.
Yep.
And through this, whether by I assume half planned, half accidental, they have. This is probably what they were wanting him to be getting at that point in time, I would think.
Sure.
But they retooled it, and now he's got something for sure, I would say.
Well, yeah, because I don't really remember him a lot
He didn't do much.
in Ring of Honor and stuff, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to go back and watch some of his stuff. I will say Buckshot Lariat, I'm not a fan of the elaborate moves, but it's definitely a better finisher than the Deadeye that he was doing. Deadeye, that move dumb. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Well, yeah, the Buckshot Lariat looks like if he connected with that in real life, it would actually lay you out.
Yeah.
So
the Deadeye, like, I don't know. I think if you really took one of them, I would rather take the Lariat than be dropped on my head like that.
Yes.
But from a entertainment or theatrics, Buckshot is superior.
Agreed.
Let's see. So we got main event, Christian. What on earth am I thinking? Chris Jericho and Sammy against Darby and Moxley.
Apparently Ross was watching some old TNA episodes.
So it was only a matter of time before we got Darby and Moxley on the same page, I would say.
Yeah.
That just seems like peas in a pod kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Moxley just, the luchadors that you alluded to earlier, because as soon as he came, it's funny, like I'll catch stuff like a second before, like I noticed Raven.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I'm not the only one who noticed. I was like, yeah, that's weird that there's three guys in the luchador masks, like sitting right there.
Sure.
And then they stood up. I was like, oh, yep.
Yeah.
And he just gets mauled. For some reason, Darby just stands by the ring, jumping back and forth like he's boxing somebody out in basketball.
Yeah.
Instead of going to help. But, so he's out. So Darby is in a handicap match, basically, is what he agrees to.
Yep.
And I would say this is as good as the other stuff Darby has done that has made him feel like a big deal.
Yeah.
This So the match in general is going, but I would say it totally turns around when Darby tags himself in.
Yes.
And basically gives himself the hot tag. Like, the crowd loved it. Just watching it, it was kind of like, oh, I've never seen that happen.
Yeah.
I imagine that's not the first time it's been done.
Sure.
But I've never seen it done, so first one to TV, there you go, like in a big way. But he made it work, and again, I kind of thought they might let him pull off the upset.
I thought for a minute he was going to do it, but yeah.
Which would have been insane.
Yeah.
But either way, like...
I like how they're slowly building that character up.
Yeah. Well, they're making him tough as nails.
Yeah, before he becomes like Sting or whatever, or he's unstoppable or whatever, yeah.
They get some other dude to start painting their face like Darby, fake Darby.
Well, Sting does have a son, and his son does want to be part of wrestling. So
you know how funny that would be.
See, and
we got War Games coming up, so that's where Sting disappeared into the rafters.
That's right. That's right.
I still love when Bischoff was like, the most over we ever had Sting. He didn't wrestle and he didn't talk. What's that tell you?
So it's
the most so backhanded thing to say.
Sting was so good, though. I love Sting.
I preferred Surfer Sting or Hawaiian Sting, however you want to call it.
Hawaiian Sting.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, so here, this is from the official AEW, but Darby tagged, well, he tagged in himself.
Yeah.
And just goes nuts. But yeah, so that was awesome. He goes for that crazy dive of his, though, and Jericho Judas affected him in midair.
So,
he crumpled.
Now, this all could be a work.
Yes. Were you showing pictures of the hospital he was at?
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know if he connected with that. It looked like he did. I don't know if he did or not.
I can't tell. It's one of those things where I would see, like, Jeff Hardy, for example, look like he's destroyed, but you don't really know.
Yeah.
There's certain wrestlers that I can never tell if it's selling or injury.
But seeing Darby, how he just dives out like he does.
It just crumples.
Who knows? I mean...
Right. Well, I mean, he's into the storytelling as well, clearly.
Yeah.
So... it could all very well be, but I mean, it could be legit. I mean, we'll find out.
Did you see on Twitter where he did his coffin drop off that big scaffold?
Yeah, into the foam pit.
Yeah,
I
was like, my God,
that'd be awesome. When I used to do the rock climbing, like it was bouldering, but there was it was probably like 12 or 14 feet, but they had like 3-foot crash pads under it. So anytime I topped out, I'd just like free fall back.
Yeah.
And just hit it flat
until
they put vinyl over it. So it was just like real cheap Berber carpet, and it was super, like you'd hit it and it was real cushy. They actually got this real nice vinyl cover to put over it. I did that once, and it doesn't give the same because the vinyl was brand new and didn't have a lot of give to it. Knocked the crap out of myself because I basically just fell backwards like 12 or whatever feet onto this thing and knocked the breath of myself out doing the curly shuffle. Foam pit would be much more fun, though.
Sure. But anyway, so this ends with the Inner Circle just basically just dominating like they said they were going to.
Well, and then Moxley finally comes back, but it doesn't go well for him. He eats a shield bomb.
Yep.
And then they do the symbol of excellence, but with middle fingers and 5 people.
Yes.
At one point, I saw Jericho yell, I think at Sammy. He was like, put your hand back there. or something. It looked like it.
Well, it's funny. If you ever watch Jericho with the Inner Circle, he's like pushing them or like basically giving them their cues or whatever.
Yeah, he's directing them where he's feeling it. And, I mean, they're better for it, for sure.
Sure.
So it was it set everything up. It's pretty obvious where we're going, I would say, for War Games.
Yeah.
We're going to have, I would assume, Moxley, Darby, Cody, Dustin. I don't know if they're going to do a 5th man or not. Maybe Matt.
Yeah, maybe.
And that would give you Inner Circle and go from there.
Yep.
If that's the group they go with, I don't know what we're going to get out of that. So
it'd be interesting to see. So,
all right. So, you want to do video games now?
Yeah, because I don't really have anything with entertainment.
Yeah, I don't either. I figured out the band you're going to listen to the next time, but let's see here. We need
video games.
Something that could never.
That is the wrong one.
Get over here! Time's up. Let's do this.
As you can tell, at AOP here, we have a really professional show.
I still say ours is quality-wise. Some of the stuff I listen to personally.
Oh, yeah. There are some podcasts.
Now, there's some I listen to, though, that we might as well be using Campbell soup cans. So,
yes.
So video game-wise.
Yeah.
Myself, I've been playing so much of that Undermine game.
Yeah.
Which is the roguelike where you're going in, do it like kind of Zelda, but you can jump. Like the top-down Zelda.
Yeah.
Basically, roguelike, you're just trying to get through these like a gold mine. You go into a dungeon. You go into the halls of something. That's as far as I've gotten.
Yeah.
But every time, like, you collect money or you collect the gold throughout it. When you die, you have a little canary that travels with you.
Okay.
To start with, at least. It takes your gold sack and, like, say you get 100 gold. Like, depending on how much you've upgraded that, depends on how much of that gets saved.
Gotcha.
I'm up to about 80% on mine is what I keep of it.
Yeah.
And then you basically just upgrade your weapons, you upgrade your gear. You can buy, like, buffs kind of for it. And you just... I don't know what the end game is to it. I've not done any research.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to know. Like, I'm just playing it like an old video game where you really don't know what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
Like, I don't know if there's a way to beat it. It might go on forever. I have no idea. But I'll find out over time. But I've played a ton of that. And then I downloaded... You had told me about... Is it Super Animal Battle Royale?
Yes.
Or whatever it is. So I was playing that.
It's very fun.
I enjoyed
addicting.
it quite a lot. I was wrecking fools with the shotgun.
Yes.
But yeah, it's...
Now, do you play with controller or...
I was doing keyboard and mouse.
Yeah.
Were you using controller?
No, well,
I don't know if there is an option for it.
Yeah, there is.
Is there?
It's terrible. It's
doesn't work as
well, I mean, you have to play with it more, I assume.
Right.
But
it seems like the mouse, though, with the quickness that you can change where you're aiming, is going to give you an advantage.
Yep.
Now, if you were playing against other people who are using the controller, that's fine.
Sure.
Like, that's kind of like Fortnite or any of those games. Like, if I had a controller, I don't want to be playing against someone with a keyboard and mouse.
Sure, yeah.
In general, like, if you're looking at equal skill levels, like, if I played myself, me with keyboard and mouse is probably better than me with a controller.
Yeah.
Maybe not on Halo, where I've played a ton of Halo in my lifetime with a controller. I'd probably be better than with a keyboard and mouse for quite a while. But yeah, I didn't get like a ton of games in, but I got enough to where it's like, man, I could kind of see giving them $12 to unlock all this stuff.
So you didn't unlock it yet?
No, I just got the free version to try it out.
Yeah.
But it is very similar, like, because I've played like the Battle Royale, I play the Brawl Stars.
Yeah.
It kind of has that feel to it, but there's a little bit more, and it's on the computer. So, but it'll be like some of the other games I have, like Darksburg, where I don't play that all the time, but it'll be like, I feel like playing a couple rounds of this.
Gotcha.
So it'll be there.
Yeah.
So right now, though, Undermine and Battlegrounds are still taking it over for me.
Gotcha.
So Battlegrounds, I have treaded water, and I'm still at like 5,500 MMR or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah.
I cannot get a break. Like, anytime you get like the low health character that you need to survive a round or two, murked every time by something. Like, somehow it's just the most irritating thing ever.
Yeah, I don't know. Battlegrounds here lately, I've been it's a different strategy how it used to be. Like, you could dominate like in the early game and then just completely suck.
The dragons, if they get like Razor Gore, if you get to that stuff first, you can definitely power spike. Yeah. So I've been trying to just ensure a top 4. Gotcha. That way I get some additional points. My problem is I keep trying to go dragons because they're fun, but everybody else is trying to go dragons because they're new and fun. Yeah. So you are diluting that pool so much that you're probably better off to do anything but dragons right now. Gotcha. Would be my guess. Because like if I've gone like hard demons or mechs, I do pretty good until me and the last dude, and that guy has 2 Razor Gores that are 70s, and I have no poisonous. Yeah. And if I do have poisonous, it will never hit what I want it to. So yeah, that's been my stuff. So you were saying at the beginning, you want a war of attrition in Conan?
Yeah. So how I told you about how I was having turf wars.
Yes, because the guy was bringing over like boss creatures.
Yeah.
To take your dudes out.
Yeah. So he staked a little claim, and I guess he was trying. I guess he wanted the area where we are, or I'm at, or whatever.
Right. And somehow, with his sliver of land, thought that he was going to.
Yeah. But the problem is with so Conan Exiles, the smaller piece of land that you have or like buildings you have on it, you have to stay on. You have to go to that property a lot because the decay timer is shorter. So if you only have like a little building or like whatever, the decay timer is really fast. It's like a day or whatever. So you had to constantly run over there at least and step on it to re-energize, reset or whatever. So,
so if you log out for a week, it's over.
And in Conan Exiles, that's easy because I think people get bored or whatever.
Yeah.
And so anyway, he didn't log in, and I got our land back, Ross. It's ready
for a sign. Get wrecked.
I was going, maybe I'll do that today. Maybe I'll put a sign up saying, this is our land.
Be like, you don't have any idea how petty I can be.
Yes. Yeah. Another cool thing is I think they, because at first, how we would go around the map and see like people that just lost interest in the game, their buildings would collapse and you would get all their stuff. But a couple months ago,
that was like your favorite thing.
That was my favorite thing, yeah. So because it was like Christmas. You're like, oh my god. So anyway,
this dude just had a bag of skulls. What is going on?
So anyway, they patched it where if you try to get somebody else's bag, you couldn't take their stuff. For whatever reason, I don't know, but I guess they added it back in again where you can take people's stuff.
Yeah.
And I was going around the map on Friday. Came across this base. I was so overcumbered I couldn't walk because I was like crawling back to our base or whatever. But yeah, I got a lot of good stuff.
Man,
it was great. It was great.
That's exciting. So the server's 1505?
1505. Yeah. Okay. So if you want to go on the official servers and see our base that I'm building, so hopefully one day Ross will get back to it.
It's gonna happen.
We'll go and we'll do some whatever.
Yes.
Dungeon runs.
I have a character on that server. I don't know if they disappeared, though. Who knows with Conan?
I mean,
I could log in and it could be level 60 now, and I could have all my gear. There's no telling. Or I could be a giant.
I think that once you don't play it for like maybe a month or whatever, I think that you just lose your character.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But I would also not be surprised if I had 4 characters.
Sure. I wish it was more like... Now, I understand why it's not like this, but I wish it was more like World of Warcraft. Because all of my characters in World of Warcraft are exactly where I left them, and they're ready for me to play anytime I want. Conan is not like that at all. No. But that's not how Conan is. Conan is a survival
because you
game.
Actually occupy space that people can't use. They got to have something in there to free it up. So versus just the server goes away, and then it frees everything up for everybody. You're rolling on something new.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. There's nothing else. No other games or anything.
Well, hopefully after we get done podcasting, we'll have the actual... Just let us play like Zelda or something and put it on the YouTube channel. So.
Yes. So, all right. So I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah.
We'll hit the outro. Goose. I haven't used this in a while. It's out of season, but
what is it?
That was the Headless Horseman.
Oh,
all right.
You guys have a good week.
Yeah, I should take that off. Then. I'm gonna try to start using this thing with OBS.
Yeah,
so I can figure out some animation stuff. I'm sure it's super easy. I'm just lazy and haven't done it yet. I gotta like move everything over.
Yeah.
Hey, Elimination Chamber is Sunday, everybody.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber.
Doesn't mean a lot.